GB News host Dan Wootton has continued to remain silent while Laurence Fox has signed off on a contentious day by doubling down on his controversial views and branding feminism a cancer on society. The 45-year-old actor-turned-political activist seems determined to cause outrage by refusing to apologize for derogatory remarks he made about a female journalist while appearing on GB News on Tuesday night. The father of two rounded on political commentator Ava Edwards to make comments that have been roundly condemned as misogynistic as he asked who'd want to SG that while live on air. As the day drew to a close, Laurence returned to X, the social media app formerly known as Twitter, to reiterate his views. He wrote, "Just so we are clear. I would rather scrub toilets for the rest of my days and retain my dignity than shill for cash and opportunity, only to compromise absolutely everything which really matters in life. I've made many millions over the years and I gave them up to fight a battle I didn't want to fight. So if you think that some half-baked pile-on is going to stop me, think again. I am truly free." He signed off on the day writing, "Good night water. The feminization of men is a cancer on society. Every single human life is sacred. #All Lives Matter." Laurence was not the only casualty of his actions, however, as presenter Dan Wootton, on whose show Laurence had been a guest, was also suspended from the network pending investigation into the incident. It comes after GB News host Mark Dolan discussed the suspension of both Laurence Fox and Dan Wootton from the broadcaster following a day of furious backlash. On Tuesday night, 45-year-old actor-turned-political activist Laurence was a guest on 40-year-old Dan's show Dan Wootton Tonight, and sparked fury when he made derogatory comments about journalist Ava Edwards. Viewers felt that Dan didn't take the comments seriously as he appeared to smirk when Laurence made remarks about not wanting to SG Ava. While Dan and GB News issued apologies to Ava following the exchange, Laurence appeared to throw Dan under the bus by posting a text exchange and implying it was messages between him and Dan where they joked about the incident after it occurred. GB News subsequently suspended Dan following investigation, hours after suspending Laurence from appearing on the channel over his comments. Taking to the air on Wednesday night, 49-year-old Mark, who replaced Dan in the late-night time slot, addressed the incident live. He said, "Unless you've been living under a rock you'll be aware that GB News presenter Laurence Fox appeared on the channel last night and made some offensive comments about the journalist Ava Evans. I wasn't expecting to be here tonight. Dan's absence tonight is beyond my control. Free speech is everything, but it comes with responsibility. Anything you say, or write, or broadcast, will rightly be exposed to the court of public opinion. I know. I've been there. And I'll be there again. Whether Laurence should stay on air is not my decision, and Dan's absence tonight is also beyond my control. There is an investigation ongoing. But the comments made by Laurence in my viewers were sexist, misogynists and have been condemned across the political spectrum from the left and the right and even the Liberal Democrats." He went on to say that GB News has directly apologized to the journalist. Earlier in the day, GB News said in a statement, "GB News has formally suspended Laurence Fox while we continue our investigation into comments he made on the channel last night. Mr. Fox's suspension is effective immediately and he has been taken off air. We will be apologizing formally to Ms. Evans today," they later announced. GB News has suspended Dan Wootton following comments made on his program by Laurence Fox last night. This follows our decision earlier today to formally suspend Mr. Fox. We are conducting a full investigation. While Dan himself declared via Twitter/X, having looked at the footage, I can see how inappropriate my reaction to his totally unacceptable remarks appears to be, and want to be clear that I was in no way amused by the comments. I reacted as I did out of shock and surprise in an off-guard moment while working out how to respond as he continued to speak by searching for tweets Ava Santina had sent earlier in the day while having them read out in my ear at the same time. However, I should have intervened immediately to challenge offensive and misogynistic remarks. I apologize unreservedly for what was a very unfortunate lapse in judgment on my part under the intense pressure of a bizarre exchange. GB News bosses suspended Wootton following comments made on his program by Laurence Fox last night. Earlier today, in a statement shared on Twitter, the opinion-led news channel said, GB News has suspended Dan Wootton following comments made on his program by Laurence Fox last night. This follows our decision earlier today to formally suspend Mr. Fox. We are conducting a full investigation. Fox appeared on Dan Wootton Tonight on Tuesday night, during which the actor-turned-aspiring politician made several crude and derogatory remarks about journalist Ms. Evans. During the broadcast, Fox described Ms. Evans as a little woman and declared, "We don't need these sort of feminist for zero who," he said, "are pathetic and embarrassing," adding, "Who would want to sh that?" The comments from Fox sparked a furious backlash online, with Ms. Evans telling her Twitter, aka X, followers she felt physically sick following the broadcast, and host Wootton issuing an apology. This morning, just minutes before his suspension was announced by GB News, Fox took to Twitter to stand by his comments and refuse to issue a groveling apology. Earlier today, as GB News announced his suspension, Fox quote-tweeted Wootton's apology to Ms. Evans following last night's broadcast and shared a screenshot of a conversation presumably between himself and Wootton. The messages appear to show Fox telling the New Zealand-born journalist, "Making you giggle is my weekly joy," as the recipient replies, "You can imagine them freaking out in the gallery," alongside 3 laughing emojis. Fox captioned the image, "Honesty is the best policy. Follow Mirror Celebs on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube and Threads."
To